Greetings, my name is Martin, I'm a 3D artist by day and a WoW player by night, and sometimes the other way around, because I am self-employed and have no control over my schedule whatsoever. And as it turns out, I am so obsessed with WoW tier sets that I'm actually making videos about them now. And we still have 3 classes left, so this is the Eye of Kilrock. Let's look into that. Mage. This is a nice set. I actually feel a little bit sorry that I don't like it more than I do, because it's really well made for the most part, but it doesn't excite me like some other sets did. The balls look super cool and hopefully look even cooler in-game. The rune, papery, scribe thingies on the shoulders seem nice. I hope they get some physics and don't just hang like this in the game. And I feel like that might be my issue with the set right now. This one is really designed to be shining and glowing and be moved around in-game. It may not be perfect to look at in a still image. I also once again get the feeling that this was supposed to be a Season 3 War Within set with all of those Karesh influences. And then on the other hand we have the actual Season 3 set, which would have fit so much better with the Phoenix and all of the Season 1 of Midnight themes. But whatever. All in all, I like the balls, I like this knot design with the gem in the middle, the bazillion layers of the cloak and the set entirely, that we have this kind of floating bit over the hood and also the hood itself. This works really well in my opinion. And then may I bring to your attention the way those golden lines are worked into the fabric. Look at how well that works, how amazing that looks. We also have a lot of lines going on in fabric all over the set, but this white and gold down here is done so well. This texture looks so pretty. And fortunately, that's it with the set. No details outside of our frame that would make us facepalm and shake our head or anything. Some armor piece we haven't seen yet, which would completely ruin the overall aesthetic of the set, right? Why? Why is this even anything at all, ever? I get it, Xelatath feat did well with the community in the War Within, but that's a priest. And also a very unique one that's permanently levitating, mind you. And for some like nature-connected classes, like let's say Shamans or Druids, this style can be a legitimate design choice. But Mage? The hell, man. Listen, there's a perfectly good option for anyone with a foot fetish in the game already. And that's the way it should be. Please give our Mage tier set shoes. Even if they're goofy as fuck. Ah crap, I wanted to move on to the next class here, but we haven't talked about nail polish yet. I mean colorways of the Mage tier set. So blue. Never fails as a Mage set, especially for Frost, even though a brighter tone would have worked better in my opinion. Then we have the green and purple for everyone who wants to feed the little warlock inside of their Mage. Big time Kirintor and Arcane Mage colors coming up, very nice, and then the slightly tuned down version of it, also nice, but a little odd that we have both of these. Now I don't fully agree with the paper as well as the fairly toned down gold. This could have been more Blood Elf, and it should have been more Blood Elf. Let's be real here. Especially for Season 1 of Midnight, this should have been a full-on in-your-face Blood Elf set. And then there's this second blue one, while we didn't have a single fire set included. What's up with that? The first and last one are borderline identical, besides a couple of hues, and also those 2 light purple sets. Maybe this is a stitching issue again, but maybe the Blizzard design team also actually forgot that fire mages exist. I don't know, we'll have to see. Haha, look at that, the monk got the mage shoes. But all jokes aside, this is something that has been going on for a while, shoes and gloves that are shared between classes. Of course, these are somewhat of the least obvious and standardized bits in an armor set, so I guess it is fine to save a little time there, but dear Blizzard, be aware, I noticed. Now back to this set. I'm super torn. The backside is absolutely amazing. These ropes, the little shapes that are woven in there, the layering, how these colors look down here, and all of that, once again, achieved with only textures. If I see this correctly, that's just a painted plane, not a single bit of 3D modeling going on. And then we have the front side, where this is done so much worse. See how this piece bends inwards super weirdly, and then you have this drape design down here which isn't integrated at all? Remember the evoker set from last video? Look how beautiful this is made. And then look at this bit here. I hope this is going to get properly fixed before it goes live, because in theory this is a pretty cool set. The gloves also look extremely weird. Normally I am one to appreciate a clean, maybe a little bit understated look, especially on a class like Monk. But this isn't clean, it's just weird. All in the same color, no division between gloves and arms. That's really kind of odd. Head and shoulders look amazing though. Again with the Oni type mask, which again looks great. This will never fail on a Monk set. And I'm not entirely sure what those fangs on the shoulders are supposed to tell us at this time. Not very Monk-like in my opinion. But in this magical sand kind of visual, it looks really cool. And the blue light effect in contrast to that also works really, really well. Color-wise, Monk is always a good option to just play around, I think. It doesn't have this super distinct color palette like DK or Mage in my opinion. So we start out with this yellow. Let's just say the shoulders are filled with some freshly brewed beer, I guess. Moving on to another beautiful color combination of turquoise and a somewhat rose gold metal. When I wrote my notes for this bit the first time, I actually had a blue filter going on my screen. And give me a second. I think it looks even cooler like this, but the normal one is also nice. Next up we got some old school Thunder King vibes in the house, and man, if this particle stuff in the shoulders moves in a cool way, this set is going to be such a banger. And of course if they fix these weird textures. The Jade Serpent says hi, super strong red as a contrast, looks mega. Then we have the Void Monk with another cool contrasting light effect on the shoulder, and the mask with the glowing eyes looks so mean on this one. I love it. And last but not least we have the Blood Red, which daring? A little adventurous? With the pink chest in there, but I can say that it doesn't work, but I do say that it is not my favorite. And with that, it is time for our last tier set of WoW Midnight Season 1. And don't turn off the video just now, because this one is another banger. Shaman. A really cool crystal style set that feels kind of familiar, but I can't recall having any majority crystal set of shamans in the past. More like shiny rocks and spikes, but no crystals. Looking at this set though, it is about time for that, because this is epic. I don't even feel like pointing out any unique details, it just works so incredibly well as a complete design. This is so coherent and harmonious, visually the complete opposite of what we had with the Hunter, for instance. Now, obviously we have these rocks that kind of fade into crystals. We have them most prominently on the shoulders, the head and the arms, which are always the most important bits of any WoW tier set. And then we have this theoretically extremely strong silhouette, starting with the horns and then these extremely bent shoulder bits, but they are smoothed out by adding these super cool floating balls of storm energy up here, which are not only floating, but softly connected by lightning. And by doing so, this very aggressive base silhouette is actually inverted and then flows down from the shoulders over the hands, tapering slightly inwards, which is still powerful, but nowhere near as aggressive as it would be without the balls in the middle that smooth out the entire design. And all of that is then even enhanced by how the colors are used. We have these really bright shining crystals on top. These crystal teeth here are, by the way, my favorite part of the entire set. But let's not get too distracted. We have plenty of shiny crystals up here, and they are fading out the closer we get to the bottom of the model, with only being present in these hanging crystals down here. And all of that is even accentuated with the super dark blue fabric down here. So this is an extremely well crafted armor set, which I'm absolutely in love with. This first one is obviously dedicated to the Storm for all the chain lightning enjoyers out there. Up next we have the Fell Green version set for everyone who hasn't mentally recovered from Legion Remix at this point, I guess. But it looks amazing nonetheless. Into what I would describe as a slightly toned down version of the first set, but this one can really be anything, with the little heavier earth tones and the cloth and the blue crystals. It's anything between earth and water, so this can also work for a healer. Of course, we can't miss out on the Void. I'd say the green skin isn't a perfect fit for the set in this color, but on a Maghar, for instance, that's a neat set. And I just noticed the glowing eyes, love it. Then we have this yellow amber again. I'm not entirely sure who it's for, but it looks super cool paired with the dark rocks and the blue accents in the cloth bits. And last but not least, my favorite, the Fire set. From the sorting, it seems like this may be the elite PvP set, which brings me into a bit of a pickle, honestly, because Shaman is always that kind of class I want to play more and end up playing way too little. Maybe it is time this season. Maybe it is. And that wraps it up. That was number 13 of 13. Therefore, we have now seen all class tier sets coming in World of Warcraft Midnight Season 1. For me personally, most of these are good to very good sets with a couple of obvious exceptions. And I think I'll actually make a quick overlook in the form of a tier set tier list next week to finish up this entire tier set topic for Midnight Season 1. If you enjoyed this video and did stick around until the end, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to my channel. It is only about a month old and the YouTube algorithm will only show my videos to more people on the platform. If you help me out here a little bit, I appreciate it greatly. Maybe even leave a comment, let me know what you think about the sets, or leave some feedback about my videos in general. And of course, if you haven't watched part 1 or 2, don't miss out. They're at least as fun and informative as this one. Thank you for watching and thank you very much for your support. This was the Eye of Kilrock. See you next time. Greetings.